Imagine opening your banking app one morning and seeing a complete stranger's name listed on your account. Not just listed, this person has been moving your money, making purchases, and operating your checking account as if it were their own. And when you call the bank, they tell you it's just a glitch. A glitch. That's exactly what happened to one person, and the story they shared online should be a wake-up call for every single one of us. Welcome back. If you care about protecting your money, your identity, and your financial future, you are in exactly the right place. Today we are diving into a situation that is genuinely alarming. And more importantly, we are going to break down exactly what you should do if something like this ever happens to you. So let's set the scene here, because the context of this story matters a lot. We are talking about a checking account at a major national bank, one of the biggest in the country. The person who owns this account had held it for years. They were not actively using it, which is actually pretty common. A lot of us have old accounts sitting around, maybe from a previous job's direct deposit setup, or an account we opened years ago and just never closed. The balance might be minimal, the account just sort of exists in the background of your financial life. And that is precisely why this kind of thing can go undetected for so long. When you are not logging in regularly, when you're not watching the transactions, an account becomes a soft target. It is like leaving a car parked on the street for months at a time. You might not notice someone has been inside until something is obviously wrong. Now, the stakes here are enormous. We are not just talking about the inconvenience of having unauthorized activity on an account. We are talking about potential identity theft. We are talking about someone having legal access to your financial institution under your account structure. We are talking about a situation where, if not handled correctly, you could face liability for transactions you did not authorize. And perhaps most disturbing of all, we are talking about what appears to be a systemic failure at the bank level, because someone got added to this account, and the bank's first response was to call it a glitch. That framing matters, because a glitch does not have a name. A glitch does not have a spending history. A glitch does not pay for things and deposit money. What happened here was not a glitch. And understanding why the bank might use that word is an important part of understanding how to protect yourself. Let's walk through exactly how this story unfolded, because the details are what make it so unsettling. The account owner starts getting notifications, push alerts, emails. Something is pinging on an account they have not touched in a long time. Most of us would feel that little jolt of anxiety. Why is my bank contacting me about an account I barely use? So they log in to check, and that is where everything gets surreal. There is a secondary account holder listed, a name they have never seen before, never heard before, a complete stranger. Not a family member, not an old roommate, not a business partner, nobody they can connect to any point in their life. A total unknown. And here's where it gets even more disturbing. This was not just a name sitting there doing nothing. This person had been active. They were moving money, they were making purchases, they were using this checking account as a functional financial tool. And all of it was showing up on the legitimate account owner's bank statements, right there in the app. This stranger's name attached to the transaction history. Think about what that means for a moment. This person was not just lurking, they were operating, which raises so many questions. How long had this been going on? How much money had moved? Were the funds coming in from somewhere suspicious? Were the purchases traceable? Was this person aware they were on someone else's account? Or had they also been deceived somehow? The account owner does the right thing immediately. They call the bank while they are still looking at the screen. They get connected to a fraud agent. And here is where the story takes another troubling turn. The fraud agent, rather than immediately escalating this as a serious security breach, tells them it is just a glitch. Hold on, we will get back to you with a concrete answer. Now, to be fair, frontline customer service agents at big banks often follow scripts. They are not always empowered to make big decisions in real time. But calling an unauthorized secondary account holder a glitch is not just unhelpful. It is potentially dangerous, because it minimizes the situation. It encourages the account owner to wait rather than act. And every minute you spend waiting is a minute that the unauthorized activity can continue. As the account owner is typing out their story asking for help and advice, they are still on hold, still waiting, still sitting with the reality that someone else has been living in their financial house, so to speak. And the bank's only explanation so far is a technical error. The responses they received from others who had seen similar situations pointed in a consistent direction. This needs to be treated as fraud, not as a system malfunction. The distinction matters legally and practically. A glitch might get patched. Fraud requires documentation, escalation, a paper trail, and potentially law enforcement involvement. What makes this story so instructive is that it hits on several vulnerabilities that a lot of us share. Dormant accounts, infrequent check-ins, trusting that the bank is monitoring on our behalf, and an instinct to believe the bank when they downplay something because they are the experts, right? They know their own systems. But here's the truth. Large financial institutions handle millions of accounts. When something goes wrong, the default response from a frontline agent is often to contain the caller's anxiety rather than immediately confirm the worst. That is not necessarily malicious, but it is not helpful either. You have to advocate for yourself forcefully and specifically. So what do you actually do if this happens to you? Let's talk about that clearly, because this is where we can turn a frightening story into something actionable. First, do not accept vague answers. If a bank representative tells you something is a glitch without being able to explain exactly what that means and what is being done to fix it, escalate immediately. Ask to speak to a fraud specialist, a supervisor, or the fraud resolution department specifically. Use the word fraud clearly and repeatedly. That word triggers different protocols than the word glitch does. Second, document everything in real time. Take screenshots of your account showing the unauthorized name, the transaction history, the dates. Write down the time you called, the name of the representative if they give it, and every single thing they tell you. If you are told to hold, note how long. This documentation becomes your record if this ever goes to a dispute, a regulatory complaint, or a legal proceeding. Third, freeze the account or request an immediate account hold. Ask the bank to restrict all activity on that account while the investigation is underway. You do not want more transactions happening in either direction while you are still figuring out what is going on. Fourth, file a formal fraud report with the bank. This is different from just calling and talking to someone. A formal written report creates an official record that the bank is obligated to respond to. Ask specifically how to file one and request a case number. Fifth, if you feel like the bank is stonewalling you or not taking this seriously, file a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The CFPB is the federal agency that oversees banks and financial products, and a complaint there gets attention in a way that a phone call to customer service often does not. Sixth, consider contacting your local police department to file a report for identity theft or unauthorized account access. Even if the police cannot resolve the issue directly, having a police report number strengthens your position with the bank and with any future disputes. And seventh, and this is a habit change, not just a reaction, check all of your accounts regularly, even the ones you are not actively using. A 5-minute login once a week can catch something that might otherwise go undetected for months. Set up alerts for all accounts, not just the ones you use daily. Most banks let you get notified for any transaction over a certain dollar amount, for login attempts, for any changes to account settings. Turn all of that on. The broader lesson here is about how financial institutions operate and how we need to engage with them. Banks are not infallible. Systems can be exploited. Customer service agents do not always have the full picture or the authority to fix it on the spot. And the burden of protecting your money ultimately falls on you more than you might expect. This story is a reminder that dormant does not mean safe. An account you set up years ago and forgot about is still attached to your identity, your social security number, your financial profile. If someone compromises it, you are the one who has to deal with the consequences. Stay engaged with your finances. Check in, ask questions, and if something does not feel right, trust that instinct and push until you get a real answer. If this happened to you, or if you are worried it could, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more content that helps you protect and grow your financial life, subscribe to this channel. New videos go up every week, and every single one is designed to give you real, practical information you can actually use. Your financial security is worth paying attention to. Do not wait until something goes wrong to start.